we're going to start off class, the next part of this class, with a little video I made. I was supposed to go into the city yesterday, but, I'm 90, 80 miles north of the city. I didn't feel like driving down in the weather because it was raining pretty badly up here. We had flooding we had flooding close by on the Wallkill River, and probably didn't rain as hard in the city, but I just thought about driving home last night and I didn't feel like doing it. So I was going to go in the city and do some of this work in the city yesterday, but I only got to do some of the work up here over the weekend, late last week before it started raining. So we're going to watch a video and then we're going to talk about some stuff. All right, so I'm walking in the woods here up to my destination for today's sound safari. Yeah, I'm a little dark there. It'll get brighter, I promise you. So this is Rosendale, New York, about 8 miles from where I live. And the Wallkill rail trail, which is this here, cuts right through, and that way it goes to Kingston, and that way it goes down to New Paltz and then Wallkill. And there's a little video. So we're at Joppenberg Mountain. All right, so we're just going to walk along here, and there's a trestle that's a train trestle, because this used to be a train situation, that's about, 125 feet above the ground, and it's been refurbished, and it's for mixed pedestrian bike usage. So we're going there. This will be our first sound safari expedition. I'll catch you when I get over there. Here, I'll do one of these guys on YouTube. Okay, so we're on here now, and as you can see, there's somebody on their bicycle. There's somebody else on their bicycle. That's the Rosendale Creek, or I think it's a creek. So this thing was built in 1870, and it's kind of interesting. When I first started coming up here, in 2005, before we decided to live up here, still living in the city at that point, this was closed off and it was falling apart, and there was talk of just taking it down. But in the interim, it's been completely refurbished. And there's the town of Rosendale is down that way. Village. Okay, so I'm here in the middle, and this is something you need to watch out for because it will affect your recordings. So you see that? Those flags are moving there? There's a lot of wind up here. So we're going to head back that direction, and we're going to see if we can get cut off the wind with that mountain there. That's Joppenberg. You can actually climb up there, up onto the top of that. The entrance is down that way. All right, so I'll turn it on once I get set up. Okay, so why am I up here? Well, got this big metal tube here. Interesting sound, right? Interesting sounds. So I want to capture some of those that we can make instruments with. So the first one we're going to do is the phone. So I've got it set up for voice memo, and I'm going to interject here. I did something like that I would have done 20 years ago. The microphones for the phone are in the back here and I have this part of the phone facing towards the object. So don't make the same mistake I did. All right. Okay. Why is it not playing? Let's try that again. Big metal tube here. Interesting sound, right? Interesting sounds. So I want to capture some of those that we can make instruments with. So the first one we're going to do is the phone. So I've got it set up for voice memo, and it's recording now. Now this phone has stereo mics. It's interesting because I don't know if you can see that, but it tells you where it's being recorded. Now this is going to take some editing because there's a lot of cars going on. Drumstick, top bar. I edited the sound in, so that's the sound the phone picked up, I believe. Mallet head, top bar. Okay, so let's get some of these other things. So we'll call these tines, metal tines, drumstick. Has a great sound. And now I'll do the bottom part. Bottom rail. Okay, so I've captured a few with my phone. And just double check. It's recording now. Okay, my second implement is this little handheld Zoom recorder. It's got two microphones. They're in XY coincident pattern. I can go over that if you'd like. And this is in stereo, and I've got it, the volume all set up and everything, and I'm going to start recording. All right, here we go. Top rail, drumstick. Top rail, mallet. Now it's going to pick up a lot of that background noise, but there's a solution for that. Okay, drumstick, support tine. That tine is unbelievable. And now I'll do the bottom. Okay, one more solution to deal with the extra noise. I'll be back in a sec. All right, so now I've got a hard disk recorder set up here, which is extremely high quality, and I've got this little doodad here, if you can see that. This is a contact mic made by Audio Technica, or AKG. And what I can do is, it's got some gunk on here, I can affix it just like that to the surface, and then now the sound will be only what's coming from the surface that's being struck. I'll stop the video and finish setting up. Okay, so I've got this hooked up now, and I'm hearing sounds and there's nothing playing. That'll be okay though. So I've got the contact mic, and I'm going to strike it with the stick. This I can't slate because this won't hear me. So here we go. So this is so loud and so clean that I'm going to use the mallet side too. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off of here and put it on the bar in the middle here. Like the sound is still going on, so I just let it play out. So part of this is being patient when you've got these long sustaining sounds and just letting them finish, you know, and it can be a little bit boring, but you just have to do it because there's all sorts of stuff happening there in this sound. You're hearing one pitch, but it's actually like about 4 or 5 pitches sounding simultaneously. The overtones are so rich in this sound. I'll do the bottom as well. I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, so I got the audio, came home, put it into Pro Tools, and the Zoom recording, I was able to clean up and get rid of a lot of the street noise. The phone recording, I can get rid of some of it, but there's still useful stuff with that. So let's take a look at the sounds, the final sounds that I came up with, and then we'll talk about that. Okay, so here are some sounds that the sounds I picked out from the phone recording. Right? And then a bunch here. So these I got pretty clean. And when you capture sounds, you're going to have to send them to me and I'll have to clean them up, do some cleaning up for you. All right. I've got software that you don't have. I'm happy to do that to help out. So, you could take this sound and use that for sure. Okay. So this is with this is with the Zoom recorder. This I got most of the outside sound off of. So that's nice. Be a good percussion instrument. And then a few more of these here. So these are the best out of all the sounds. Okay, but then with the AKG, you get much more activity after the, so I've got, right, different sounds, but stuff like this. I mean, that is just so rich with overtones. I captured some rhythms, right? Different articulations, and it's up to me to pick out the best one. And then, just some random stuff. And then like a flourish like this last one here. Now, this is something that you wouldn't make an instrument out of, but it's very useful. And we're going to talk about that. Okay, so that's the first step. You get the sounds, you edit them, and, I've labeled them all. I haven't given them any pitch. Oh, maybe I have given them a pitch. No, I've just labeled them. That's not the pitch. That's just the number I have assigned them. If I want to make an instrument out of them, I would do the proper pitching protocol. Let's see. And then, is that all of them? Yeah. Okay. So then, all right, I couldn't get down to the city. So what could I get around my house that's not like just stuff that's happening around my house, right? So we have a small greenhouse fixed to the basement. It's just a room with like a curved glass wall. Gets a lot of sun in there. And so my wife grows stuff down there. And so I put that AKG contact microphone onto, she's got a little cactus. And I put it onto one of the rubber leaves and I flicked it. And I got a nice low-pitched drum sound. Right, a couple tom-toms. A little distorted. So that's the first thing. So that's cactus. Now we had rain, right? So the rain hits against the glass. I'm going to show you how I use some of this stuff, how you can use some of this stuff. This stuff is, and I did a couple of them. What's nice about this is it's got randomness to the sound. There's like little accents here and there that are random and unplanned. Now this one is heavier rain in the greenhouse. Almost a rhythm to that, right? This is the sound that the hot tub, the engine on the hot tub makes. This is all with that AKG microphone. I stuck it on all these things, right? Obviously, you don't have one of those, but you can. I'm just showing you how I'm using my imagination to find sounds that could be interesting. So this is that chime that you guys worked with, but this time it's kind of muted. And I like some of that randomness afterwards. I mean, just to give you a little taste, if you wanted to make something that sounded really cool, you could add some delay, and I can teach you guys. The undergraduates pretty much know how to use this. The ones that took DRAC 2 last semester, we spent quite a bit of time with this, but I'll definitely go over this stuff. And then you can get something like this. Right? And so it becomes this ambient rhythmic bed that you can make with stuff like that. That's why I like some of that just really random stuff. So then, was it yesterday morning or Sunday morning? I can't remember which day it was. I went out. I got up early, so it was like 5:30, and I was out in the back deck with a pot, right? The same pot that I had for used for an instrument, and rain was falling into the pot, right? And I had the microphone stuck to the side of the pot. And then here, I just aimed it where there were drips coming off the roof. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So, I got a generous amount of stuff. Now let me show you another video real quick. How do you make a piano into an orchestra? So, what am I doing there? I have on that particular thing, I have my foot on the sustain pedal, so all the dampers were lifted up off the strings, and all the strings could vibrate. And I had a timpani mallet, right? And I was just randomly playing stuff. I had two sets of microphones. I have this thing called a piano mic, which is a bar that goes across right in back of the music rack. It goes across the piano, and it just rests on both sides of the case. And then in the middle, there are these two little tiny goosenecks that are about this long with small omnidirectional high quality condenser mics on there, and I pick up sound there. And then I had two other small condenser mics set up towards the back of the piano, capturing in stereo. So I had two stereo sources, two high quality mic sources, and I was just playing the mallet in different areas and listening to what was happening and reacting to that. And then I got it into Pro Tools and I processed it with all sorts of plugins to enhance some of the rich harmonic activity and to add other dimensions to the sound. We're going to go over some of that as well. So let's go back to our sound safari and let's take a listen to some of the sounds I got. So this track is what you just heard, unprocessed. But listen to all those overtones, right? Insane. It almost sounds like the notes are bending down. No, this is processed. Okay, this is definitely processed. You can hear on the left and right all those high pitches that have been added. All right, we already heard that. Let's move forward. Let's just keep going forward. Okay, so I played a C suspended seventh chord, so C, F, G, and B flat. I pushed the notes down without making any sound, so just those dampers are lifted off the strings, right? So those are the only notes that will ring. And then I strummed it with my, right? Then I did it an octave higher. And I did that with the rods, the plastic rod sticks that I've got. Then I went down to the lowest A on the piano. Hit that with the mallet. I pushed that down with no sound. Hit it with the mallet softly. And that is I'll definitely be using that in a film score. More of that string. Right, hit with the wood part of the mallet. Just hitting the soundboard. If I really turn that up, you hear, listen to this. There's just so much harmonic activity in there. It's really interesting. So this is just a random pattern. Right, I like to have those. You could just loop them. Boom. Right? That's kind of cool. Okay, so these are two plucked notes. I could have plucked it more, but I just have these two. And then this one. Okay, then I've got a long one. That's piano with random mallets. This all sounds like the soundtrack to Aliens. More of that. Some that are louder. Right, so all this murky stuff. Okay, and then you've got, I'm hitting the metal frame. In different spots, right? There's all sorts of stuff that you can do with these sounds. Like, for example, if I took this and then I went to Audio Suite and I'll teach you guys how to do this, and I do the pitch shift and I drop that down 2 octaves. Right? That becomes something totally different. And then I could process that with some time-based effects. You know, there's all sorts of stuff that you can do with this stuff once you get it into Pro Tools. Okay, what is this? Oh, sound effects with an open harp. That must have been with the rods. Okay. So that's the materials I gathered, right? Let's see what we can do with that, all right? This is about 4.5 minutes long. I'm using those sounds plus some other sounds that I had captured over the years, and I'll go through that after I play the piece. And I'm using some of the decent sampler instruments I made, all right? So, and some of the ones that you guys have made from some of my recordings. So every sound on here, I recorded as audio, and I'm using it in this composition either as an audio file placed in a certain spot on the timeline and processed, or as a decent sampler instrument that I'm playing. Let's take a listen to this. And I did this in about 3 hours. I started this yesterday morning and I finished it this afternoon before class.